DJ Prof.
Ragazzi, maswera se queste kungabe kwa muri lichone njani makadini mangwanani maneru depending on what muri kupi. Welcome to Change Radio News Review today, the 12th of the 12th 2021. Tikuda kusangana zvakare muchirongwa chedu chemasvondo ese musi weSunday panguva dzakada kungofanana nedzimwe chete dzatinadzo nhasi unoyu. We are live on Change Radio, we are live on our Change Radio Facebook, and we are live on ZimEye, giving you the news that have been happening the whole week. We know that you are the viewers sitting, relaxing, and you want to enjoy and listening to what have been happening throughout the whole week. We have got a whole pot full of bold and well-roasted news that we have been amalgamating the whole week. So before I spend much of the time for you, let me give the time for my colleagues to introduce themselves here. Over to you, either of you, Leader Barbara and Chief.
Makadi, Maria Zimbabwe, DJ Prof, thank you very much. We appreciate you, Leader Babs.
Yeah, nyabonga DJ Prof linjani, livuka njani, lichona njani. Mthwakazi omuhle emagumbini amane wonke omhlaba sesiphendukele njalo uhlelo lwethu ole news review lapho esililethela khona lokho kade kusenzakala iviki yonke siku Change Radio na ku ZimEye. Nyabonga.
Yes. So we are going to have a lineup of our news that we are going to give our news review topics that we are going to unpack for you. We have a lot of things that we are going to speak about today, touching base from the politics, from business, to the social life of everyone in and outside Zimbabwe. So some of the topics I think that we are going to cover today, we are going to cover the hot and the hottest of the news that happened in Zimbabwe. Obviously, we're talking about the robbery and shooting that happened with the former detective and so forth. We are also going to speak about that the Harare mayor has been reinstated to his office back. The Honorable Jacob Mafume. We are going again to speak more on the government, on the ECD outcome in schools, and we're going to speak about the much attended and the much just ended the presidential dinner for MDC Alliance President Advocate Nelson Chamisa. And also we are going to speak about the presidential scheme with regards to inputs that are being used for the taxpayers' money. We have a lot of topics that we are going to speak about, and we will speak about also what the diasporians are saying about the situation back home. What are they saying? Actually, looking forward for 2023. We are going also to speak about the things that the so-called government are saying to people. They are shooting dramas every day, night and morning. They are having a lot of own goals. We are going to speak about that as we move. Leader Estella, can you moderate this and give the platform to the speakers to give to unpack the topics, please?
Oh, okay. Thank you, DJ Prof. Maybe we could start with the topic on how the ZANU-PF regime has unveiled the Data Protection Act to terrorize social media users. Would you like to take that one, Chief?
Well, thank you very much, Estella. Yes, that's what we are seeing here. ZANU-PF has moved ahead and passed the Data Protection Act, obviously to terrorize Zimbabwean social media users. This is a case of double standards, as you can see. This is a country that is saying to the international community that it is opening up the democratic space in Zimbabwe, yet Nicodemously, under cover of darkness, they go ahead and close that very same democratic space. In this day and age, you are passing a Data Protection Act that terrorizes Zimbabweans for publishing, what they believe to be the truth on social media. This is a right for everyone. We have a right to speak the truth. We have a right to speak what is going on in the country. I know we are regarded as anti-government when we publish the truth. When we talk about the truth of what is going on in Zimbabwe, the government seeks to penalize all that. And I'm not surprised that Zimbabwe was excluded from this very high-profile democracy Indaba that was going on and that was being hosted by the American president. South Africa was there, Zambia was there, other African countries were there. Obviously, Zimbabwe was excluded. And I think it's because the world is tired. They are tired of ZANU-PF. They are tired of the lies from the government, which talks about democracy. On the other hand, while the other hand is taking away that democracy or that democratic space from the citizens of Zimbabwe. Now, folks, what it means with this Data Protection Act is if you publish something that Emerson Mnangagwa deems false or that ZANU-PF deems as unpatriotic or as anti-government, you can get arrested on arrival at Harare International Airport because you publish something on Twitter, on Facebook, or anyway on social media a year ago or last week. It just depends. But that's the Zimbabwe we are now in. There's no more freedom of speech. There's no more freedom of expression, as espoused in our Zimbabwean constitution. So, these are things that we are always talking about. And this is the reason why we are encouraging citizens to come together and go and register to vote so that we remove such undemocratic leaders. Thank you, Estella.
Thank you, Chief, for yes. Thank you. Oh, so sorry. Just a second. Thank you, Chief, for that analysis. There's a video that I need to upload, so it started playing the VP Core one.
No
But
problem.
thank you, Chief. All right, thank you for that analysis. What do you think about the timing of this act, the release of this act, as we are going just a year away from the elections? What are the implications? What do you think is the reason behind the timing?
Yeah, I mean, they are seeing the power of the citizens. They are seeing the power of the people. And obviously, they are targeting Zimbabweans. They are targeting our free speech. They know that we are going to be talking about what is going on in Zimbabwe. And they know that Zimbabweans will be seeking to exercise their freedom, freedom of speech, and freedom to elect leaders that they like. Zimbabweans know the leaders that they want. And this is one way that that ZANU-PF is going to use to suppress the people's voice, to suppress the people's expression. But it's unfortunate we are unperturbed and will not be intimidated by such mechanisms. We will continue to speak out, we will continue to call out ZANU-PF, and we will continue to represent Zimbabweans that are in Zimbabwe that can't speak, that are gagged, who, when they speak, they are arrested arbitrarily, some killed, some abducted. Here, we have the freedom to speak, and I want to urge all citizens to continue doing what they are doing. Musanyeperwe nevanhu vanenge vachitaura kuti social media haishande, kutaura hakushande. Zvinoshanda. That's the reason why ZANU-PF is now coming up with all these draconian laws. They are doing that because they've seen, they've felt the pain, they've felt the noise that we are making. And the good thing is the world is listening. The world is watching what is going on in Zimbabwe. So let's continue to speak up.
Leader Barbara, do you still hear Chief?
Back to you, Estella.
Yes, thank you so much. Maybe to add on to what Chief has just said, this act is there to close the public space, the only public space that is there, which is the social media. They closed us on the ZBC. Now we have found a new space in the air. They are trying to close that space because they know, like Chief has said, that social media is powerful. And again, this act is against the constitution. So it's null and void, because when we are promulgating an act, you have to put in place the constitutional provisions that are there when you want to craft a law. For instance, if you look at Section 51, speaks to the right to human dignity, and Section 52 speaks to the right to personal security. Section 57 of the Constitution speaks to the right to privacy, and Section 61, it also speaks to the right to freedom of expression and freedom of media of choice. So if you look at this draconian law, it's draconian because it's against the law. It's a law that has been promulgated to further silence the citizens, to further silence the voice of the voiceless, just like the POSA and the IPA. So we have now three draconian laws that we have to fight that takes away our freedom of speech, Estelle.
Yes, exactly, Leader Barbara. It is against the Constitution. It is actually an unlawful law. which law-abiding citizens need to pay no attention to. When a law is unlawful, it is not a law. And so maybe we would like to just encourage, especially Zimbabweans in the diaspora, to increase pressure, post more on social media, because that's the only avenue we have left at our disposal. Those in Zimbabwe are facing this draconian law, which is holding them down. They might not be so free to express their opinions and to let the world know what's happening in Zimbabwe. So it is down to us who are in democratic countries to do our utmost best to, to let the world know the situation at home and to spread the truth as much as we can. DJ Prof, did you have something to add on before we move on to the next topic?
Not really. I think the two presenters have shared more onto this topic. Aditya Stella, just to say, I concur with what they just said now, that the government is only one to protect, or actually to thwart the voice of the people, and also they know the power of the social media, and they've learned a lesson, I think, from Zambia.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, DJ Prof. Moving on to the next topic, we would like to revisit the memorial service of human rights defender Dewa Mavhima, who passed on last week. Would you like to take that one on, Leader Barbara or DJ Prof? Either way.
Is Chief who's supposed to take it?
Yeah, so basically, thank you so much, Leader Stella. So we are still in a mourning mood for the human rights defender Dewa Mavhima. I am sure even the people who did not have chance to meet him personally, in person, or who have never heard of Dewa Mavhima was representing you without you knowing that he's representing you, because he was not speaking for individuals, he was speaking for the human rights of all the people, specifically or especially the Southern African side, or in the world in general. So he is one of the most decorated lawyer that we lost. We are still continuing giving condolences messages to his family. We are still also indebted to his work that he has done for all of us, and we are saying he is made.
DJ Prof? Okay, DJ Prof seems to be having network issues. Would you like to add on to what he said concerning the Dewa Mavhima Memorial, DJ Leader Barbara?
Okay. I think what I can safely say is that as Change Radio, we mourn with the whole of Zimbabwe, the whole of the world, in the death of Dewa. You know, he was a key person, a very instrumental person in the human rights arena. He was the director of Human Rights Watch, but he was based in South Africa. He commanded the Southern Africa Human Rights Watch. So taraskirwa zvikuru, silahlekelwe kakhulu nguDewa, umuntu obemelele umhlaba wonke entweni zamalungelo abantu. Sasimbona ephuma esenza ama-videos ehambela abantu ababechayiwe, abantu ababe belimalela ezombangazwe. So sithi silahlekele kakhulu ngokuhamba kukaDewa Mavhima. Sikhala ndawonye lemuli yakoDewa, sikhala ndawonye lemuli yeZimbabwe. Angani umoya wakhe ungalala ngoxolo. Ngiyabonga.
Yes, thank you there, Leader Barbara. And moving on to the next topic, DJ Prof, would you like to tell us about the increase in number of robberies involving soldiers in Zimbabwe?
Yes, thank you so much. And I would want also just to say to the listeners and viewers, especially those one on YouTube and our YouTube and on Facebook, can you please comment as much as possible? Give us your thoughts so that we can share with also with the public that not on those platforms. Yes, leader Stella, there is an increase actually in Zimbabwe, not only starting now but dated back to yesteryears, where you find that most of robberies in Zimbabwe now involving the people, the people in uniform, which means the security sector. In this instance, particularly the soldiers. What actually we want to give to to the viewers and listeners is that, it's not that because these people are planning to have these robberies, but because of the situation, political and economic situation in Zimbabwe is making these people doing this. You know what? The government is making the soldiers and the police the laughing stock of the country. So I want to give a scenario or a situation whereby, imagine now a soldier, a security, a person who is protecting the country, a person who is protecting my life, you and the government, and you and me, is busy traveling on a commuter or minibus, waiting on the long queue for a Zupco bus, going to a house where he's renting behind the main house, and that person is a protector of the country and everyone in the country. I'm talking more specifically with regards to soldiers. So imagine that person when he's get to a retirement or laid off with the different circumstances, maybe sick or something. What would that person going to get for his service that is offered in the country? So some of the things, these people are very angry because of the government, because of the treatment that they're getting from the government. They are very angry, and besides being angry, the situation and circumstances around what they will be after they retire or they are retired from the security sector is that they are nobodies. But remember, they've gained skills and from the security that they can use to be somebody's. So you that's why you are finding out that there is a number of robberies that are involved in Zimbabwe, increase of number of robberies that involve soldiers and security sectors. Even you find that there are police people who are also now involved, and there are a lot of syndicates that are not yet been brought out, but we know that there are a lot of syndicates that are there that we don't know with our general knowledge, but with assumptions we know that they are there, because most of the robberies that are happening there, you find one or two of those sectors are involved in those robberies. So we are saying to the government of Zimbabwe, can you please pay these people enough so that when they leave or when they retire with any circumstance from the security sector, they go and rest. When we were growing up, we knew that police, soldiers, all the people in the security sector, they used to have their own place where they used to stay, because they were not supposed to be involved with this with the people, because we do not want to know who they are. Now they are laughing stock. When I see a policewoman, a police person walking, a soldier person walking in the street of Harare, it's a laughing stock to the people. Thank you.
Thank you, DJ Prof. And yes, indeed, you're right in pointing out that these people, they are, operating out of desperation. It is not purely by their will that they choose to resort to committing crime when they have actually pledged to prevent crime and to secure the masses. But you know how they say, when the head does not work well, the rest of the body simply follows the head. So at the moment, we have a head which abuses power to terrorize and to loot and to milk the masses. And so the you know, the security, our security and our police, they are following the example of the leaders. Instead of doing what they pledged to do, they are using their positions and the armor which they have been armed with to secure the masses. They are now using it to take from the masses and to terrorize the masses, which is exactly what the head of the body is doing. And so what is needed is to change the head. It is not that the security forces and the police have gone rotten. We don't have. It's just that if we change the head, you will see all other, faculties of the nation will also change. They will start to operate in accordance with the head that is leading them. Leader Barbara, do you have something you would like to add before we move on to our next topic?
No, I think you have said it all.
Thank you, Leader Barbara. And next on our list of topics, we would like to talk, maybe DJ Prof, you can take us through Hararen Mayor Jacob Mafume, his reinstatement after suspension.
That's another mismanagement or misleadership that is coming from the so-called government of Zimbabwe. The Minister of Local Government, who was appointed by the current so-called the president, without the presidential portfolio, the Minister of Local Government, July Moyo, suspend the rightful honorable mayor of Harare, Honorable Jacob Mafume, 45 days ago, and he was on suspension pending investigation on charges of corruption. But from that time when he was put on suspension, nothing has been done. He has never been called to court. It was just a matter of fixing him. But thank God, days are numbered. Days can move. Now 45 days of suspension lapsed. Jacob Mafume is back in his office as the mayor of Harare. Thanks to his lawyer, who continues following this case, Barrister Tonderai Batasara. Thank you very much for sterling job that you have done on behalf of our rightful elected mayor. And from the word of his worship, Honorable Jacob Mafume, from his own words, he said that now telling the government that we must be mature and accept the results of democratic process that led to his appointment. So we must respect the will of the people who elected the honorable his worship Mayor Jacob Mafume to be in office. So good news to the people of Zimbabwe, good news to the family of MDC Alliance, good news to the residents of Harare. Their rightful mayor is back in office. Thank you.
Thank you, DJ Prof. And we hope now that he's back in office, we hope to see action and things moving on as we are fast approaching the 2023 elections. Anything to add on to that, Leader Barbara, Chief?
Nothing much than to just say that Mayor Mafume was
Leader
never
Barbara?
guilty of anything.
DJ Prof, are you
can you hear
still live? Can you?
Chief,
Yeah,
Chief
is talking.
Chief is
Chief is
speaking.
talking.
Okay.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
maybe
Chief.
I was kundinzwa. So I was just saying Mayor Mafume was never guilty in the first place. This is just a continued persecution by the regime. It's just like all the prisoners, all the persecuted MDC Alliance and civic society leaders that are being targeted by ZANU-PF. I think most of us, you heard that audio by Emerson Mnangagwa, where he was urging, some Zimbabweans, ZANU-PF, very uninterested ZANU-PF supporters or so-called ZANU-PF supporters, but I don't think they are ZANU-PF supporters. There are people that would have just gone to get food, and we encourage people to go and get the food. So Emerson Mnangagwa was saying MDC Alliance is in charge of, all the councils, and they're not doing anything. That's exactly the narrative that they're trying to create by continuing to meddle, in affairs of the city councils and firing city councils, working in cahoots with Douglas Monzora, to suspend or recall councillors and mayors, so that they can have something to say, some lies to say to Zimbabweans. But the good thing is Zimbabweans are awake, citizens are awake. Even those that are in the rural areas, they know that the problems that are in the MDC Alliance, that are in the opposition, are being manufactured by ZANU-PF every day, using people that are gullible, people like Monzora that are, in this struggle for money, not for the people. But, the people of Harare know their mayor, they know their leaders, and they know that whatever is going on in Harare and in all the other city councils, it's not being caused by the inefficiency of MDC Alliance or the councillors themselves. These are issues that this government is heartless. They do things that they know will impact on Zimbabweans, and so that at the end of the day they blame the MDC Alliance. So we are seeing citizens being used as pawns here. They don't care the suffering that they are causing. They don't care about the feelings of the Zimbabwean people. All they want is to use everything at their disposal so that they retain power, and that includes coming up with frivolous allegations against people like Mayor Mafume. Yes, he is back, and he should never have gone anyway, because he was never guilty. He is an innocent man.
Thank you, Chief. Little Barbara, would you like to come in there?
No, they've said it all.
Yes. And let me throw another topic in there. The presidential dinner fundraiser, was it a success? Was that
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. The presidential dinner that was there on the 9th of December in Harare went on very well. It was a success. Remember, this presidential dinner is a fundraising dinner that is held every year by President Nelson Chamisa to raise funds for money to buy groceries for the less privileged. I think we all know last year he managed to give the elderly in all the provinces, they were given groceries. So we don't know this year how he's going to distribute the groceries, the Christmas hampers. The one interesting thing, Estella, is that before this presidential dinner could kick off, diaspora community had already raised 5,000 in less than 24 hours. So they started on 5,000, and a lot of money was raised on that day. A lot of people supported the dinner. I am told a seat was $75, and it was fully packed. So it was a success, and would want to thank all the people that played their part in making this event a success. especially the people in the diaspora. They know that they are not able to attend these functions physically, so they know their role is to sponsor the party financially. They are the sponsors, they are the donors of the party. Would want to thank each and every individual, even those in Zimbabwe. We know things are not well. They managed to fork out their money. $75 is a lot of money in Zimbabwe. It can buy grocery for the whole month, but they sacrificed and went and attended the presidential dinner. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yes,
let me
thank
just
you.
add
Thank you.
something there.
Sure, Chief, go ahead.
Yes, this was a presidential dinner fundraiser. It's done every year, and President Chamisa always goes out to give to the old and the disadvantaged in our communities, and that's a very noble cause. I was actually also in the organizing committee of this fundraising dinner, and I can tell you that the cheapest ticket, yes, was $75, but most of the tickets that were sold, these $75 tickets were very few. We had $150 tickets, $250 tickets, and $500 tickets. And most of them were bought by some people in Zimbabwe. You know, that just tells you the zeal and the commitment that the Zimbabwean people have. It's not that people have a lot of money, but it's the sacrifice, you know, that people are ready now to sacrifice for their freedom. Zimbabweans are ready to sacrifice for change, you know. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank the North America province, because as a province, we bought 7 chairs of $75, where we took some old people, some disadvantaged people from one of our, constituencies that is being supported by one of the branches here, the twinning program. Buera South is twinned with North Carolina, a very vibrant branch here in North America province. And, we took some people from there, and they attended the dinner. They were acknowledged by the president. I think it was a lifetime experience that they were there, traveling all the way from Buera to be part of that dinner. But that's not only it. North America province, as we are speaking, we are still raising money for the Christmas cheer fund, because the president hasn't even started. He hasn't even started giving the goodies to the disadvantaged in the community. You'll be doing that in the coming weeks as we approach Christmas. I can tell you that as of today, we were on $4,600 in North America province alone. So by the end of the day, the treasurer and some of the leaders that are driving that fundraiser were telling me that would have reached the $5,000 mark. And this is just testimony, another testimony that Zimbabweans are ready to support President Chamisa into the State House. Thank you very much, Estela.
Oh, thank you for that informative briefing, Chief. It is very heartwarming and inspiring to hear how much has been collected. I think that adds up to more than 10,000 US dollars. If we take the 5,000 that was collected even before the fundraiser, the dinner fundraising event began, and the 4,000 that North America has up until now raised, plus the amount raised at the dinner itself. So I'm very happy to hear that, because I know this was going to be a bleak Christmas for many families. Things are very hard with COVID, unemployment, vending, not being allowed to try and earn a there. So I know this money is going to go a long way, inspiring hope in many lives. DJ Prof, before we move on, would you like to throw in a word or two?
Yeah, not really, but just to thank the people of Zimbabwe for their, for their heartfelt of putting their hands in their pocket for the noble cause, where they know, and especially the North America, they know that Zimbabwe has made Livingstone a dilapidated country with the rule of Emerson Mnangagwa, and they went as far as Bohera to go and pick the people to say, you know what, you only hear of the president speaking on radio or on TV or stuff. Now you're going to sit close to him, eating together with him at the dinner. That was very, 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 very good gesture for the people of Boera. Thank you so very much, Chief, with your people in North America. The other thing that I just wanted to say, Leader Stella, maybe in between, you can just flight the comments, then we can run with them as well, so that we just take everything to the end. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, DJ Pro, for that reminder. We can just look at a few comments before we move on. Freedom Mazula says, thank you so much. God bless you all as we continue fighting for Zimbabwean freedom. Finial Muswiburi Moyo says, we need free and fair elections to retire Ngonzora and Mnangagwa schemes once and for all. I think this is in reference to one of the past topics that we discussed. And just one more comment before we move on. Erisha M says, well done, guys. Zimbabweans are suffering. Children are malnutritioned. And Mnangagwa sees absolutely nothing wrong with that. Yes, thank you, Erisha M. And deep, heartfelt thank you from Change Radio to all the people who contributed and donated. We declare that the good Lord will double and multiply whatever you contributed and pour it back into your lives. Moving on to the next topic, I think Leader Barbara, you might want to take this one. Mashonaland East tops the list of number of gender-based violence inmates.
Okay. Thank you so much, Estela. I think we are all aware, our viewers and listeners, that we were in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence that started on the 25th of November until the 10th of December. So these statistics are according to the Zimbabwe Prison Services, whereby they said Mashonaland East topped the list for men who committed gender-based violence crimes, and they also released the number of women that also committed gender-based violence. As we know that gender-based violence is not all about women, it's about men. The reason why the protection of women, the stopping of violence against women is overemphasized is because mostly the perpetrators are men. I think we can even see by this report by the ZPS. So Mashonaland West was on the top of the list Mashonaland West had 445 cases of gender-based violence in 2021, and then Mashonaland West, Mash West, 364, Bulawayo Province, 350, Mashonaland Central, 231, Mashingo Province, 177, Midlands Province, 94, Harare Province, 72, Matabeleland South Province, 70, Matabeleland North Province, 55. Manicaland was the lowest, and it recorded 25 crimes. And also, the women who committed gender-based violence crimes, where the number was 45 in the year 2021. We still urge citizens to seek intervention and counseling to avoid the occurrence of violence in households. And also, as Change Radio, we encourage people to continue conscientizing, campaigning for the stop or for the elimination of gender-based violence, especially the intimate gender-based violence or the domestic violence, because these are the two types of violence that is mostly committed in our communities. And we also urge to say it's not about 16 days. Let's make it 365 days of gender-based violence, again, of activism against gender-based violence, so that we eliminate this animal called gender-based violence once and for all. Why are we emphasizing, Estella, on gender-based violence? Because it has been, research has shown that most women are not participating in political spaces, whether in church, civic organizations. They are not participating because there is a lot of gender-based violence. Women meet a lot of criticism from their male counterparts, because they don't want them to be in those positions of authority. So we continue campaigning for the stop of gender-based violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader Barbara. And very important points you raised there, that let's not just make it a 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, but let's make it an everyday thing, that, it is a way of life, fighting against gender-based violence. Leader Barbara, you advised that people should seek counseling or help if they find themselves in a situation where they are experiencing gender-based violence, where a lot of people might not know where and how to seek that kind of help. Are you in a position to give some pointers?
Firstly, what the people of Zimbabwe must know is gender-based violence is a crime. There is an act on gender-based violence. So if gender-based violence is a crime, so anyone who is suffered from gender-based violence, the first port of call, Estella, is to report to the police. Like you saw me reading the statistics of people that are already in prison that committed the gender-based violence. So they should not take these things lightly. The counseling part will come after reporting the cases to the police. Whether it's a man who has been harassed by the wife or the woman, or is the wife who has been harassed by the husband or the boyfriend, or any, even at work, there is also gender-based violence. So we are saying any form of gender-based violence is a crime. Maybe which are these, Estella? I think people should know kuti icho chinombonzi gender-based violence chacho chi kuyini okuthiwa i-gender-based violence, anti, because people think ukuthi physical
Exactly.
fighting or physical beating, that's only gender-based. There are so many forms. There's physical, there's verbal violence, there's emotional violence, there's financial, whereby you don't give your wife money to support the family, or vice versa. It's a crime on its own. There's also what we call stalking. Stalking, Estella, kufamba uchiteera munhu uchida kuona kuti munhu ari kuitei, whether mukadzi wako kana kuti murume wako. You can even stalk munhu pafoni to see kuti munhu ari kuitei, mamoves ake. Some people, they hack other people's phones, nema laptops, like you hack your husband's phone or you hack your wife's phone, and you see, you trace my movements ake on your phone, my messages ake on your laptop. That's gender-based violence. Controlling is gender-based violence. Telling someone, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do this, whilst that person wants to do it. It's gender-based violence. So there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of forms of gender-based violence. It's not about, there's also emotional, whereby someone will suffer emotionally, whether wamtuka kana kuti wamuita kana kuti wamuitira something chinomushungurudza emotionally. That's gender-based violence. And even what the government of Zimbabwe is doing to the people is gender-based violence. Look at the police, how they are treating women, how they are treating men. Kurowa one, kuchiroerwa kuti why did you meet? And they are also using COVID-19 as a shield to harass people. That's gender-based violence.
Yes, thank you so much, Leader Barbara, for that detailed analysis. I'm sure it will go a long way to help many of us who might actually be suffering gender-based violence without being aware of it. But after hearing that full list of the different types of GBV that are out there, many of us will be conscientized and inclined to take action where necessary. Our next topic, I think maybe DJ Prof might want to take this if he's around. Government to blame for 40% kids, ECD kids out of school. DJ Prof, are you available? It seems DJ Prof is not currently available. Leader Barbara, that leaves just you and me to tackle this one.
Okay, that one for ECD.
Yes, ECD kids who are out of school.
Yes, it's a very sad situation. What's happening in Zimbabwe? Remember, kuti government phased away private preschools. It's not Makresha. They phased away. Yes, and they introduced what they call ECDA and ECDB. So ECDA is like the child, but they will be learning at a formal school. So in the primary, instead of having 7 grades, there's now 9 grades in the primary. So this is now compulsory. And this was done haphazardly, Estella, without proper planning. So most schools, they are not equipped. If I tell you, Guti, most schools in the towns, in cities, they don't have proper facilities for this ECD. So what about the schools in the rural areas where there are not even classes for the other grades? So you see, it's a disaster. So at the end of the day, children are no longer going for this ECD that was deemed compulsory. Children are just going to school straight away from home without even being prepared. So what does this mean? Government is a recipe for disaster, because we are having children that are going to school without proper preparation. We know kudhara kuti vanhu vana vaienda kumakreche preschool, but they were private. And then now the government has faced that it's only a few individuals that can afford to take their children to preschools, because the few that are left, they are expensive, because they are now capitalizing to say vana vazhinji vakuenda ku ECD, vakuenda kuma primary schools kwakachipa. So the few schools that are left, the preschools, they are expensive. So most people cannot afford. So it's a disaster, really, what the government did. We know education is a basic right. If something is a basic right, it means it's a fundamental right. It's a right that cannot be taken. It's called an alienable right. That yatinozvarwa takapfumbata kudai. So the moment ndichingouya panyika, I have that right. So it is the responsibility of the government to see to it that every child has basic education.
Oh, thank you so much, Leader Barbara. It is quite devastating to hear that so many small children are not getting the preparation they need to start off their, their school journey. It will just make it very difficult for them to start learning everything at once when they, enter the classroom at grade one level. I don't know, would DJ Prof or Chief like to add on to that? Yeah, if not,
No, no, no,
then
no.
I hope
I don't want to add anything. Yeah, I think Leader Barbara have said
did justice
everything
to
that
the
I
topic.
wanted
That's
to
right.
say. Yeah, but
Yes.
it's a pit. It's a pit to the children of Zimbabwe to
Yes.
face such, and you know that the decision are just being made for them.
Yes,
They are
it's for
not
their own
involved
benefit.
in this decision making, and you find that they are put into these quagmires because um, some old gray-haired men they decided for the children.
Yes, very sad, depriving them their rights from so early on. Um, and I hope Chief is available for the next topic because it's one I believe he was geared to take on. Uh, VP Karenyi Kore rolls up her sleeves. Chief, are you there? It looks like Chief is not currently with us, but I do have a few pictures
Mm.
of VP Kore. Oh, there's Chief.
Yeah, I was trying to find somewhere to park. This is a very interesting topic. I would not want to miss. I would not want to miss saying something on it.
Oh, you had to park.
I had to
Would
park
you
by
like
the
me to
side, you
play
know.
the video?
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing. You know, I was speaking to someone at one time, and she said VP Core is a national asset, and she's going to be very critical going into 2023. I mean, look at that. Who does that? You know, and there's actually a video where she's actually, plowing. Vamwe vakangofunga kuti vanga vakangobata gejo chete. Aiwa, vaitorirova gejo vachitorova muforo chaiwo chaiwo, ende uchinyatsoona kuti pari kutsetswa, hapasi kuitwa mabhanga. Anonzi mabhanga.
Mm.
isaitone video
Pane video maikora vachinyatsorova gejo segejo. Not that one. There's another one. There's another one where she's actually, making sure kuti gejo riri kudzika. Paiva zvatonyatsorwa topic panapa yakanzi VP vadzikisa gejo. Come 2023. Because that's exactly what she's doing. This is a very humble leader. And that's what the people of Zimbabwe are looking for. A humble leader, a servant of the people, a person, who stays with the people, in the people, identifies with the people, and, resonates with the people's causes. That's ndozvinoitika kumusha. Vanhu vanorarama nekurima. Ivo vanopinda ikoko vaenda kunoadresa rari, voona vari kupfuura nepanhu pari kurimwa, votomboti ndipei gejo ndimbokanda gejo mumuforo panapa, votonyatsooti kwati dzichipinda mumuforo, kwati dzichipinda mumuforo mombe. Unoda mutungamiri akapfuura ipapo here. Saka atoti kuna VP Kore sando dzavo. This is very good. We appreciate it. And please just go and watch that. I think it's also on our YouTube channel. But katipei sando kuna VP Kore. Thank you.
Nanzi ngavadzikise gejo.
Evo, izvo, muri kuvaona iro. Vari kunyatsorowa mumuforo chaimo chaimo. Dzokorodzai futi. Vari kunyatsorowa mumuforo, havasi kumanza. Kunonzi kumanza ka. Havasi kumanza. Vari kunyatsorova gejo segejo. Vadzikisa gejo. Aiwa, this is good.
vanotokunda vanhu vakawanda vari mudiaspora vari muleadership kurova geje.
Manozi brigade ana Estela unogona kubata geje.
Aiwa, ndichakutumirai yangu ndakaribata gejo, munobvuma chief.
Estela anogona kutaura Swahili.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Inini rangu gejo rine keyboard chief.
Makawanda zvenyu kuseri kwekeyboard ikoko.
Kwekeyboard ikoko. Aiwa zvinotendwa zviri kuitwa naamai Kore zveshuwa vadzikisa gejo. There've been so many Zim asset for real. We can't wait to.
Yeah, that's a good that's an exemplary leader. You know, we don't want leaders who are just salad. Tichikura tekwenzi masalad. I mean, we don't want no salad leadership. Yeah, masalala. We want leadership, and you can see that woman is coming from people. And manaka bakuvanhu pachishona, and unotoziva kuti avo ndo vakadzura nzungu nenyimo vanochiona vanhu vakadaro. So thank you very much for that video. I think thank you very much for the viewers and listeners. I'm seeing someone out of comment and gejo. Thank you very much, Mr. Pinel. We can go ahead, Leader Estela.
Okay, thank you, DJ Prof. Our next topic, I'm not sure who's going to take this one. No, we've done this already. Jailed pro-democracy activist Mako Haruzivishe scoops SAHRDN Human Rights Defender of the Year Award. Feel free to dig in.
So yeah, so I think I must weigh in this one, because Makomboro is a young person, a youth member, like a national youth member. Is my colleague in the movement. We are all national leadership. Makomboro was arrested. He was arrested for the crime that he did not commit. And we know that he's still behind bars from February. He's still behind bars, and the case he was arrested for. All of us, we know he was arrested for whistling, and he's still behind bars. But we know what has been unfolding in the country. We even heard that even the robbers were given bail, but Makomboro was not even given that bail. He was denied of the bail as a flight risk. I don't know if the robbers are not flight risk, are not even wanting to run away from what their crimes. So Makomboro won the I think the SDHRND. It actually stands for Southern African Human Rights Defender, something like that. But correct, I'm saying to be corrected if that he has scooped it. The Human Rights Defender of the Year. So if we look at Makomborero, actually, he is obviously he is not a lawyer, but he is more like in the same category with the late Dewa Mavhima in terms of human rights defender. He is one of the young people that speaks for the people. You know his story, you know what he has done for the people. You know, when Tawanda Mcheiwa was arrested, he was one of the people who made sure that all those things can be brought out, who did that. And you know, he went to the car rental and asked some difficult questions that they could not answer, just for the human rights that he wanted people, the human right to be observed, not just to be abducted. And Makomboro, you know, he was arrested at the court when he was attending one of the people who were arrested. I think it's some of the former, just going out as Zinasu executive. he was there and he was arrested for that. He was whistling at the court. Yes, so we are saying congratulations to Marco. Wallace is in prison, and we know he's going to go out now. And I'm sure, like always, Chief says, I borrowed this word from Chief that he was not even supposed to be in that prison. He was not supposed to be behind the bars, but because of this regime that we are having, the regime that doesn't want people to go and to speak against it. Hence, Makomboro is behind bars. Congratulations to Makomboro for that recognition, and we know that he will come back and he will not retreat. He always say we are in charge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DJ Prof. Leader Barbara, anything to add before we move on?
I think wechidiki wataura, but wakangana kutaura nezva Netsai and Obey. Also, they got something, isn't it, DJ Prof?
Yes. So okay. So the I'm sorry for forgetting that. Also, they received something. Netai and Obey. Obey, as we all know, is our national youth chairperson, and Netai is our national deputy organizing secretary. They also scooped something on Gumiguru. Gumiguru recognized the young people under the age of 30 who are political activists and who are doing well in that field of politics and leadership. So Obey and Netsai scooped those prizes on leadership and law. Obviously, the Obey he received that in absentia because he's also out of the country on medical conditions. I think also with the same with Netsai after the brutal attack on that. And I thought also, Leader Barbara, you were going to mention that when you mentioned the 16th Activism Day, but we move in that regard. So thank you very much for that reminder. And you know, the young people, especially the young people in leadership, in politics, in MDC Alliance that is led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa, they are doing wonders in wherever they are. You know, it's very, very important when someone who is behind bars scooped a human right. You know, the country is regarding this young person as a criminal, but the world is seeing a leader in that because they know that the person was not fairly treated and is not in jail fairly or constitutionally. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, DJ Pro, for pointing out that whilst the ZANU-PF regime is considering him a criminal, the rest of the world is seeing a leader in him. It just goes to tell you a lot about the people who we have in power at the moment, what sort of people they are, and what their aspirations, their goals that they are driving at, what they are. They are clearly not for transparent leadership. They're clearly not for the development of the nation, for the upholding of the rule of law, because just from a number of topics that we discussed today, you can clearly see that ZANU-PF is constantly punishing those who stand for the truth, those who stand for what is right, and allowing those who are committing crimes to go scot-free. And now we can move on to our last topic of the day, which I suspect Leader Barbara would love to take on because it involves trade unions. The Labor Minister, Mavhima, has threatened trade unions. Leader Barbara, would you like to give us a little more detail on that one?
Okay, thank you so much, Estela. I think we are all aware that this struggle that we are in is a struggle for the people. So we find people from all walks of life trying to free themselves from this brutal or cruel regime of ndanoda kutaura rimwe zita of Mnangagwa. So we have trade unions, especially under the umbrella of ZCTU, the unions like ATUZ, Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, and also PTUZ, Progressive Teachers Union of Zimbabwe. We've seen Kuti recently they were fighting the government on the issue of bonuses being paid in US dollars and also their salaries being paid in bond. But this time, the Minister of Labor, Mavhima, is saying that trade unions, they want to bring regime change. What I know, Estella, is that the Zimbabwean independence was brought about by the trade unions. The liberation struggle was started by trade unionists like Joshua Nkomo, like Ndabaningi Stole, like Wanama Wana Chirau. They were all trade unionists that were fighting the injustices kumabasa. The injustices started at the workplace, and then it went over to the communities, just like how MDC was formed by ZCTU, because the workplace issues they've grown so big that the government was no longer listening to the workers' issues. They now said, Kuti, you are now doing politics, but who doesn't know, Kuti, what is politics? The moment you say, Kuti, I'm hungry, why are you hungry? I don't have money to buy bread. Why don't you have money to buy bread? Because bread is expensive. Why is bread expensive? Is because the wheat that we're supposed to be growing in Zimbabwe is now coming from outside. Why is it coming from outside? It's because of mismanagement, of misgovernance. So you end up, misgovernance is political. So but zvatanga padumba and zvatangira padumba. So to the government is now wanting to silence the labor, like what they did to say wanachangirai mauda kuita zvepolitics kana makonewa for my yenyu party wachibva former party MDC. Now they are crying foul. Party yacho yako atemesa musoro. Uku vari kutemesa musoro neZCTU, uku vari kutemesa musoro neparty neMDC, party yakafomwa nemaworkers. So the Masaraure and Raymond Majongwe, they've been instrumental in fighting for the teachers' causes. We know that Comrade Professor Ambotaura Masoja, the reason why Masoja are kuita zvavari kuita robberies is because they are underpaid. Masojas, they are supposed to protect the civilians, but now the civilians are now hunting. They are now chasing soldiers instead of soldiers chasing civilians. Don't be involved in this. Don't do robbery. It's now vice versa. The soldiers are now doing. So the teachers also, we see the teachers in a situation whereby they are being treated like useless people. I think we all know Robert Mugabe once said, "Kuti maticha murukuti muruda mari, murukuti basa reu teacher arina mari. Inini ndakaregeza teaching because ndakandaona kuti haina mari." That was the leader of the country telling teachers to say, "I quit teaching because I had seen it has got no money." Instead of him incentivizing my teachers, he was actually criticizing. That's the reason why the society doesn't respect teachers. It comes from the top. So if the top leadership does not respect the teachers or the civil servants, everyone will be mocking them because they are not being paid. So Mavhima is saying, Guti, why are the teachers, why are the civil servants or the unions, why are they meeting people from outside? They want to bring regime change. We know that trade unions, they've got partners. they've got other unions that are outside the country that they mingle with, just like the business people. They also do transactions with people outside. When it's business, it's called investment. When it's trade union meeting the outsiders, it's called regime change. So you see, we have got a government that changes like a chameleon. So the trade unions, they've got the right to meet whoever they want according to the constitution. So now they fear whatever they are going to do or whoever they are going to meet, they will tell exactly the situation of Zimbabwe. So this is what they do not want. So he wants to claim them to say it's a crime to meet people outside, but they are unions. They are affiliates of unions outside Zimbabwe, just like the business people are also affiliates of their associations that are outside Zimbabwe. And also the government of Zimbabwe, they've got other states that they are affiliated to, the other organizations like the UN, the WHO, the UNICEF. They fall under those organizations as a state. So the teachers are stakeholders, the unions are also stakeholders to the government. So they've also the right to meet whoever they want. The business, they're also stakeholders. They have the right to meet whoever they want. So it's just a way of trying to silence powerful unions because now
Yes, exactly. You can see that trend across the board that ZANU PF government is fighting by all means to silence all the voices of dissent, all the voices of truth, all those standing for human rights. Like you said, everything starts there at the workplace. We all depend on our providers, our family providers' income to survive and to run our daily lives. And when that income is minimal, it's not only the person who's working at the office who becomes unhappy, the whole family at home becomes unhappy and the whole family complains. And so it is inevitable that trade unions should be found in that position where they are accused of attempting to achieve regime change, something that I feel anyway is within their rights because they are
Seems like we have lost our moderator here.
Thank you, DJ Prof. I don't know, I went mute somehow when I
Okay,
was
so thank you.
talking. Thank you so much. But in any case, anyway, I was just wrapping up since that was our last topic. And I wanted to say that ZANU PF is aware that its time is up. Muchishona tinoti kuvunduka chatiku ndo hunge une katurukwa. ZANU PF yakuvunduka. Any voice that stands up to represent the rights of the citizens, because vari kuzviziva kuti zvavari kuita hazvisi kushanda, hazvisi kubatsira macitizens. So for that reason, the citizens will want them out in a hurry. Saka vakungovhunduka, wese anenge angochema nzara vakuvhunduka. And what that should tell us is that this is the time now to increase pressure. This is the time to work hard to make sure that our enemy already knows that they are defeated. ZANU PF knows that it is defeated because it has lost a number of elections in the past, and a lot of its allies have departed from it. It is now this old lion just wandering lonely in the wild, and this is our time to pounce on it. 2023 is our time to pounce on this regime. And so with that, we would like to encourage everyone to make sure that they register to vote. If you are outside the country and you cannot personally go to vote, but do what you can to encourage as many people as you can in the country to go to register to vote, sponsor others to go and register to vote. And when it comes 2023, if we all go out and vote in our numbers and then stay to defend our votes, we will defeat this old defeated lion in 2023. And just a few comments before we go out. Finio Muswiburi Moyo says, time will tell. Kare haagari ari kare. Ukunga peliyo kuyahlola. Some of these people in ZANU leadership has no vision for tomorrow. That's exactly. There are people who know that they don't have a tomorrow. They know that people want them out. And so their vision is just to take as much as they can today whilst they still can. But without that, Leader Barbara, would you like to give any closing remarks to our viewers and listeners before we conclude the program today?
Chief Sose was going to talk about the diaspora initiative, the policy. Is he still there? Maybe he can give a closing remark on basing on that one to say, finally, the citizens are converging for change in the diaspora. By that today, a very, very fruitful, big meeting was held by our minister, Clifford Tlachwayo, the Minister of Diaspora Affairs in the President's office, Minister Clifford Tlachwayo, a well-attended Zoom meeting with all diasporans from all walks of life, UK, America, Belgium, Germany, South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Norway, Canada, you name it, the UAE, they were there. There were a lot of people from all over the world who attended this meeting. It was a consultative meeting to speak about the diaspora policy, because we reported that President Chamisa said he is ready to lead Zimbabwe come 2023. Mukomana ari kupinda. So we need to have a diaspora policy. There was no diaspora policy. There is no diaspora policy even in the ZANU-PF government. So we want to have that diaspora policy so that when Mukomana akapinda, atizotangi kutsvaga-tsvaga kuti toita sei about diaspora. Tatone zvino. So the diasporans, they gave a lot of input to that policy. And also there is a survey that is being done to collect data from all the people in the diaspora, a database. We want to know how many people are outside Zimbabwe. What is it that they are expecting the new government to do for them? The skills audit. What skills do you have in the diaspora? So that when Mkomana akapinda, kana akuda minister of this, they will just open the file, the folder to say, oh, Germany, let's call him so that he can come and save his country. This is all what we are fighting for. We are fighting from all angles so that we can develop Zimbabwe as a people. So maybe Chief Sose, ndikuona ungati awadona ndosaka ndaramba ndichitaura.
It's okay, yes. That's right, Madonna.
Yes, so this was all about the meeting. The link iri kutenderera. So people in the diaspora, please, if you didn't see the link, they can contact me, Estella. You can pin my number. They can contact me. I will send the link to them. But we have managed to send the link in most of the groups. So I don't know if we can also pin it there. Maybe Leo he can pin the link, but also they can come to my inbox. I'll give them the link. Other questions, they're optional. If you feel you don't want to divulge much, is up to you. So, but the train is moving. The president is there, is waiting to be at the State House. So we are creating a new Zimbabwe together in the diaspora. Of much importance is the diaspora vote that will come again, and we'll talk more about what we want as diasporans, because my diasporans, if we vote, if we're allowed to vote, because you can't rig 5 million people that are in the diaspora. So we are there, we are raring to go, and we'll definitely reach there. So I just want to thank our viewers and listeners that have been with us. It has been long. There was too much activities that was going on during the week, so we could not leave some of the stories, because some of the people, they don't have the time to listen to our Change Radio. These are the stories the Ibudam Change Radio during the week. So we just thought, let's come and give you what happened in our news review. Thank you so much, our viewers and listeners. Have a good night, a good day, a good morning. Signing out is Comrade Babs.
Oh, thank you so much, Comrade Bobs. And there is her number flighted on the screen for those who would like to contact Comrade Barbara in connection with the engagement, citizens engagement policy. You can
It's WhatsApp
contact
only.
them. It's
WhatsApp
WhatsApp,
only,
yes,
that number.
Yes, you can contact her on WhatsApp on +2637723845535. And with that, I would like, on behalf of myself and our co-hosts, to wish you all a blessed evening, morning, afternoon, day, wherever you are. Stay safe. COVID is real. Mask up, sanitize, social distance. And DJ Prof, would you like to say your last few words before we close up?
Just to say thank you very much for the few viewers and listeners who have been with us for the past 1 hour, 2 hours. We much appreciate your effort being with us. Get time to motivate people to go and register, your family, your relatives, your friend, register to vote. For those who have been registered, we have registered already to vote. Please, can you check your names there on the voters roll if it's there? If Chigumba did not Gumba everything, we want 2023 to go in 2023 much prepared than before, and we know that we can do it, and we can make Zimbabwe work again. We can't leave our country look like a national park like that. We need to make our country move again. I sign out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to you, our viewers and listeners, once again, thank you for joining us. Please do join us again next week, same time, same place. And from us at Change Radio, signing out. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.